Hey guys, it's Lindsay from Meal Mentor and Happy Herbivore. And today I'm going to talk to you about batch cooking your basics. So one of the things I love most about the meal plans is that I can batch cook, meaning I can make all the meals for the week in 1 to 2 hours on the weekend and reheat all week long, which is amazing during our crazy weeknights. I don't want to, and I don't have the time really to just cook on the weekday every night. I like to come home and relax and reheat. And also just sometimes I don't have the time, and I can't stand to clean my kitchen. I like my kitchen, but I don't want to ever clean it, and cooking every day means cleaning every day. And so now I just batch and I only clean once. So nice. But one other thing I realized, so sort of circling back, is when my sister got diagnosed with a black pepper allergy and my dad had to go on a very low sodium diet, and then my husband and I have our own set of food allergies, I couldn't buy anything convenient or processed anymore. And I mean, not just like processed stuff like TV dinners, but not even canned beans or even bottled marinara sauce or enchilada sauce or barbecue sauce, nothing. I had to make everything from scratch, and I was so overwhelmed. Like, on top of already cooking all of our meals, I was like, now I have to make my rice and my beans and my marinara and my barbecue, and oh my God, how am I going to do this? And it just took too long on the day that I did my batch cooking. I was like, I can't wait 40 minutes to over an hour to cook beans and rice and then do all my prep. So what I started doing was having these batching basics. And not just necessarily an event, but what I would do is anytime I was watching TV or doing laundry or I was on the phone or even cleaning, doing dishes, I would do one of these passive batch things, whether it was batching some beans or some rice or marinara and then freezing it, and then I would have it for a month. And it was just, it became a new routine for me to batch these basics on a different day. And you don't have to do it, but it's a great place to start. And if you don't want to batch cook your meals, this will still change your life. It's really changed my life, and it saved me so much money. So much money. It's I can't even put it into numbers. It's over thousands at this point, how much money I've saved not buying canned beans or already pre-cooked rice, and having it myself. And the best part, this is probably the best part, is I know that there's always something healthy in my freezer. Even when I come home from a 3-week, vacation or travel, or, my work schedule, sometimes I'm gone for a month at all these different conferences. I can come home and I know that I have beans and rice and marinara and enchilada sauce and, some other things like vegetables in my freezer, and I can eat. I don't even have to go to the store, and it's healthy. It's really fundamentally, profoundly, every fancy word you can think of changed my life, and I really want you guys to do it. So you have to promise me you'll at least do something, and if nothing else, start with a bag of rice. This is where I started. Once a month, I would get a big bag of rice, and I would cook it, and then I would freeze off 1 and 2 cup portions, and then we just eat it all month long. Like, I'd throw it in our lunches. It would be a side to dinner. Sometimes the meal plan recipes called for it, but it was amazing, just amazing. And I'm actually going to make rice today. So I'm going to do 2, maybe 3 of my batch staples. Normally, like I said, basically anytime I'm home for a little while, I think, what can I batch? Because it's 2 minutes, and then it's just doing it, while I'm off watching TV or laundry or, hanging out with my husband or my dogs. It doesn't matter. Yoga doesn't matter. And that's another thing, is a lot of times, like the marinara I'm about to make, I will put it in the slow cooker, or my rice cooker works as a slow cooker too. I will put it in there right as I'm going to bed, and in the morning when I wake up, it's done. And so I just quickly pour it in a container and put it away. It's amazing. And I also do that with soups and like my barbecue sauce, just all these different little things that it makes it so much easier to have these just batching bulk ingredients. And I've sort of created a routine. So I have very set routine with when I do certain laundry. Like, I do towels and sheets one day, I do colors one day, and I've sort of paired various batch things with those days. Like, okay, on this day I also do my rice, but you don't have to get as OCD as me, but just any time that you're home for more than an hour, if you have 5 more minutes, get up 5 minutes earlier in the morning to throw it in your slow cooker, because you can do broth and beans and rice, all that in a slow cooker. You can do it in a pressure cooker. You can it's amazing. Really put those appliances to work for you. So I'm going to start with my marinara. And actually, this is a great example because I'm leaving. I have to take a shower and get ready. And I'm leaving to go because my friend she's putting on she's a comedian, and she has a show tonight. And so I'm going to have this marinara. I'm going to go to her show. I'll come home and it'll be ready, and I'm going to pack it up and freeze it. I'm leaving tomorrow to go to Houston for a few days, and by the time I come back, it'll be in my freezer. So I know we have marinara at the very least when I come home, but also I'm going to have marinara for like a month. It's awesome. I always need marinara, and I can never buy it because my sister's allergic to pepper, and my dad can't have salt, and I'm allergic to broccoli, and the list just continues. Let's get to it. Okay, so let me slide on down. So I'm actually going to make my marinara in my pressure cooker today. I've also made it in my rice cooker. I don't own a slow cooker, but if I did, I could do it there. And I'm using the recipe from Happy Herbivore Holidays. Members, this marinara is also in the forums, but you'll basically see me make it right now. It's dump and go, really. I'm just pouring some tomatoes into my pressure cooker, and I'm really at the end of my pantry lot. I'm due for a sale because I'm using truly like all the last of my cans. They're all mismatched in size, but it's the same amount overall. And speaking of making batching a little bit easier, I'm going to cheat and use my mini food processor, which I highly recommend if you're not that fast with a knife, to do my garlic and my onion. Garlic first. Onion, leftover onion. You guys see I have a Band-Aid. I'm not actually hurt, but my goal for this week was to try to use my left hand more, and so this is to tell me not to use my right hand, and as you can see, I'm not doing so good with my weekly challenge. Okay. Now some basil, and I like a lot of basil. And now I could have, which is what I usually do, is I would put all of this stuff in a Ziploc baggie and then just dump the bag and go. But I didn't prepare that today, which is fine because it's just a few more minutes. Maybe what, what am I at, a minute right now? Okay, throw that in. Whoop, missing a basil leaf. Yeah, that's good for now. Okay. So I'm using my Cuisinart pressure cooker, which you guys know I love. And basically what I do is I will start it as a simmer and then move it on to keep warm. But even if you just leave it on simmer, that's fine too. My rice cooker actually has a slow cooker function, which I would just choose that. If you have a slow cooker, just a slow cooker. But that's what I'm doing with this guy. And this is my rice cooker. I love it, love it, love it. Probably one of my favorite appliances. And I normally do, like I said, a big bag of rice all at once. But I'm actually out of my big bags, and this is all the rice I have. But hey, you know, it's better than nothing. Let me just add my rice. I already have my water ready. It's 2 to 1, 2 water, 1 to rice. So 2 cups water to 1 cup rice. Put this guy in and start. And now they're just going to go to work for me while I go about my life. It's really that simple. And I'll also do a whole bag of potatoes in my pressure cooker. I do this once a week, sometimes twice a week because we really like potatoes. But that's pretty much it. Maybe I can show you some stuff from my freezer. It's coming towards the end of the month, so I don't have a ton, but let's see. I found some beans. So here's some beans that I cooked before. This actually is this reminds me of a question that members are always asking about hummus. So some members have had a lot of luck freezing hummus. I get mixed results. Sometimes it works really well and sometimes it doesn't. And I think it must be the herbs that I'm adding in, like if I'm adding like basil or something into it. But so what I do, instead of making big batches of hummus because it only stays so good in the fridge for so long. And like I said, I've had this mixed result with freezing, is when I cook my chickpeas, I freeze them off in these smaller batches. So this is what I use to make hummus. This is the amount I need to make hummus. So what I'll do is I'll take these out and I'll let them thaw, or sometimes I'll just put them in the oven and roast them because I really like that flavor. And then I'll make hummus just real quick in the food processor on Sunday. Or sometimes I do it Monday morning, just whenever it fits in my schedule. But that's what I do instead of actually freezing my hummus, is I just make these little, small amounts. I think it's about 1.5 cups is in here. And so that's what I do. Just really simple, really simple. And like I said, these guys are going to work for me. I'm going to go out. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to go see my friend's show. And then when I come home, I'll just put them in my containers, and that's it. So I hope this has inspired you to try some batching. If nothing else, try batching your basics. There's a whole ton of videos of me doing all the meals for the week in like 1 hour to 2 hours. And so you can watch me do that, get some tips for multitasking, and of course read the Batch Cooking Bootcamp book for more ideas and some tips from other members, so you're not just hearing me, but what other people are doing, because there's a bunch of different strategies out there. But I promise this will change your life. It'll make it so much easier to eat healthy, and if you do end up becoming a batch cooker, doing these batching basics just periodically throughout the week when you're doing other things, laundry, TV, playing with your kids, walking your dog, doing Pilates on a mat, whatever. It's going to rock. You're going to love it. And tell me about it. I want to hear. So bye, guys. Have a great batching boot camp. Batch it off. Batch it, baby. Batch like a badass. I don't know. Whatever hashtag you want to use. And just do it. Start with a bag of rice.